Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah Olivas. I'm one of the CEOs and founders of She Rises Studios and She Rises Studios Publishing. I'm here today with the other half of She Rises Studios, Adriana Luna Carlos. You want to say good morning?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Obviously, you guys have been seeing our pages light up, so you know that we're here this morning in full force because we have our book launch out today. But yes, good morning, everybody, and it's awesome to be here.
So, for all of you who may not know this, we are international bestseller as of today. Our book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman, came out and it launched at 5 a.m. This morning, Pacific Standard Time. We all got up very early and did our Light the Torch ceremony. Super exciting. I would say we had approximately 13 or 14 of the authors, as there are 29 in total, but they're all over the world. And that's what makes this such an amazing collaboration, is that we were able to involve 29 women from all over the world, different time zones, to make this book possible. And before we dive into a little bit of why we created it, I just want to share that in pre-sales, we became bestsellers in 11 different categories. And two of those categories, we moved up to the number one spot. And then, as of this morning, during our Light the Torch ceremony, we became international bestsellers by Canada. And that in itself is a huge accomplishment. Just to see the momentum continue and all these women just collaborate on so many levels. And Adriana is showing us. You can find this book on Amazon, and it's in the ebook form for the next 2 weeks for just 99 cents. So if you're really looking for a good read and some really good understanding on what being financially fit looks like, if you need some inspiration onto becoming financially fit, it's kind of a combo of everything. But the sweet spot, I would say, for me and all of this, and I think I've shared this a couple times already, is number one, just a year ago today, within the same week, we released Becoming an Unstoppable Woman, the book. And so within that book, we decided to create a series of 6 books. So our first one was Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. Our second one was Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. Our third one was Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Mompreneur. And our fourth one is the one that came out today, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman in Finance. And all of this was built between Adriana and myself to create a movement for women to have an arena to step into as a safe zone, as a place for education, celebration, and collaboration. And so, as I was looking through memories today that keep popping up from last year's book launch, it really just made me see the difference that we've made and all the women who we've been able to bring in along the journey and just get to know, to do business with, to support, and to love. And then it hit me. This book is even more different because this book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman in Finance, was published under She Rises Studios Publishing. This is the very first book to be published by us. So I want to ask Adriana, how does that feel for you?
It feels very new because it is new, but it's exciting. We get to start a new venture with the She Raises Studios Publishing. It's been enlightening in so many different ways because we're able to experience things firsthand. Whereas when you go through a different company, there's a lot of unknowns and uncertainties, and just being able to have like control over the process has really been a way to, for me, because I learned as I've gotten older, I had more OCDs. So it's been kind of cool to be able to manage everything. But it's awesome because we get to start a whole new chapter within the company and share our experiences with the authors and really pass along that ownership into the authors that are currently in our books.
I love that. So, today we're supposed to be talking about unleash her. And what does that mean? And I feel like that is literally what we did, was we had to really understand the power within the two of us to really unleash that power and get it out there into the universe, and then watch other women do that with us, be a part of that journey. And it's just been so incredible. We just got back from New York City. I was there for 2 weeks. Adriana was there for a week. And we just really saw how, number one, what a need there is for women in finance. I personally saw that with my own two eyes when I went to the New York Stock Exchange and did some interviews. And I just saw, wow, women really need to be present in the world of finance. Women really need to unleash their power and show up and show that we can be financially fit, that we can be financially free, that we understand investing, private equity, budgeting, all those different things that we use on a day-to-day basis. And so I feel like this book shows and encompasses all of that, but there's more. There's more work to be done. There's more that people really need to see. I have, besides Adriana, I have a young adult daughter, and I also am a bonus mom to other young adult daughters. And I hope that these younger women truly see how important it is to be financially independent, and that we don't want women or single moms or divorced women or just period, any woman struggling in their day-to-day to make finances meet. And that's what this is about. Not every woman is going to be an entrepreneur, but every woman should be financially fit. And that's the difference, is that we're giving you the best of both worlds where you can see it in life and business. And I think that is so crucial. For me, I have the dream to go the distance with She Rises Studios Publishing and She Rises Studios as a multimedia worldwide digital company. I think my daughter shares that same dream, which is why we get along so well in business and why things have gone the way they have. But if that's not your goal, and your goal is to just be financially fit in life where you are right now, that's good. That's good. But get there so that we're not struggling, because we're in a society where things are changing constantly. And it's time, ladies, that we rise up and we lead and we live to all aspects of finance and being free, so we're not worrying about the electric bill, how much it's going to cost us in gas for the week. Those are all things that I struggled with as a single mom years ago. And it's tough, and times have changed. So it's even harder now. And what about you, Adriana? You went to college. How is your student loan debt?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest conversations that is lacking today, I think, is actually diving into the debt of students. And when you're going into a career that you want to accomplish from a young age, like as myself, I wanted to be a doctor early on. I went to UCLA for medicine. I started to see that my path was going a different direction as far as wanting to do business, but a big deciding factor of what school I wanted to attend, what schools I wanted to apply for, what schools I can see myself at, were based on what could I afford. And at the time, I couldn't really afford anything. I had to depend on the loans. I had to depend on financial aid. I had to depend on getting grants. And those are all very competitive sectors within, the education system. So it's very stressful as an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old. You're applying to these colleges, not knowing if you can go, not because your grades aren't good enough, but because you don't have the money. That fear comes into your mind, and how am I going to accomplish what I want to accomplish in life if I can't because of money setbacks, because of those limitations that are put onto us that we don't get to talk about until we're adults, we're 18 years old, and now it comes up all of a sudden. When these are discussions that we should be having within our school system at a younger age as we are progressing and learning about these financial deficits and whatnot. But it's just crazy to me that these are not conversations that happen at a younger age. So I think a lot more light should be shed on that education system as far as uh, helping individuals set the pace and set the tone for themselves early on, and not be afraid to talk about it, not be afraid to ask the right questions, not be afraid to depend on others, not just our family, because sometimes our families were not maybe first generation in the sense of going to college, so they might not have the answers, and now they're feeling bad, and there's this tension that's created. So you should be able to lean on the people who are guiding you through your schooling system, which are your teachers or your guidance counselors, the schools that you're applying to. These should be open conversations, a lot more than what they were and what they are. We're getting better, but we're not there yet. So I just think that this book really opens mindsets into what finances look like from so many different angles, one of them being in school. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's a little bit of a take on that for me.
I think it does because, I just recently did an interview with Sue Herrera from CNBC. And, she has children who are in college. And she explained it so well. She said, college is a business. It's like having a credit card and you're putting all of your costs on this credit card. And now you're going to pay high interest. You're going to pay all these different things. And our goal is to show men and women for that matter, how not to get in debt through student loans and to understand that it is a business. You are going for an education, but they are looking at it as a business transaction. And the more that people understand that, the better it's going to be for them, because that is such a huge, important factor for these young adults to understand. Another thing that we talk about, is what about women who run corporations? How would this book help a C-suite woman moving forward? What do you think, Adriana?
I think it kind of goes back into setting up foundations, knowing what you're going to get into before it happens. A lot of times we start businesses, but we look at the end result. What are our goals first? But sometimes we have to broaden that a little bit more and make room for expansion in the beginning and set ourselves up in the right path. When you don't set yourself up correctly and accurately, you start to hit road bumps along the way, and those become determinants in our minds as far as where success can lead. And so when you hit some roadblocks, it makes you think, oh, I can't continue. I have to give up. I'm not hitting the expectations that I want to meet. But that's not true. Every company and every business and everything in life, you're going to have issues. It's just about how you deal with it. So I feel like this book really, it jumps into the stories and the true stories of the authors and what hurdles they went through. How did they overcome those? Because you might be going through some right now, or you're going to open up your business in a month or two and you don't want to make the same mistakes. So therefore, learn from the mistakes of those that it's in the book, it's in the chapters. You're going to see them. People are very frank and honest in this book, and that's one of the most beautiful things within this book, is that honesty comes true in there, and the clarity. I would just say you have to read the book. You'll see what we mean once you're going through all the chapters.
So, this is book 4 for us. We have 2 more. Our Becoming an Unstoppable Woman book series will conclude in January of 2023. And our next book is Becoming an Unstoppable Woman in Health and Wellness. And then the next one after that, which is going to be exciting, is Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Influencer. So out of all of the 6 books that have been created and 4 that are out there in the market right now, I have to ask you, which one is your favorite?
I don't have kids yet, but I would assume that that question is like asking who your favorite kid is because you love them equally. You love them equally because you've created them all and they're beautiful in their own ways. I'm just gonna not answer that question because I love them equally, and they're just so different. You know, they're meant for different purposes. So it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's too hard to compare. I love them all.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
for me, I have a different reason why each one is my favorite. Like number 1, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. It's my favorite because I think it sets the pace for the rest to come, in the sense of, when we talk about becoming an unstoppable woman, and we've said this a million times, becoming, meaning it's never ending, it's always evolving. So becoming an unstoppable woman says to me, if I can do it, so can you. Then leading from Becoming an Unstoppable Woman into the Entrepreneur book, again, it's this guide on the do's and the don'ts. It's kind of like you have the test and the answers in the book. And women have done the grunt work. And so when you open that book, you're just like, wow, so I'm not the only one that feels this way, or no, I haven't tried this. So I feel like that book just offers a ton of knowledge to women who are seasoned entrepreneurs or who want to be an entrepreneur. And then I think Mompreneur, that one says it all, because I always use the analogy of, imagine a woman who is a business owner, a mother, a wife, and she's just juggling everything, every hat possible, while just doing it gracefully. Does that woman get stressed out? Absolutely. I'm that woman. 100%. So I feel like that book gives that inspiration, but also gives that direction on, okay, so how can I make being a mompreneur easy? Working smarter, not harder. And then when we decided to do finance, I was like, in my head, I'm like, I am not a financial expert by any means. And we all know this, but I know enough to share to say that I feel like I could talk to the single mother from that standpoint, but I also felt like I could talk to any woman out there who really truly wants in their financial world. They need that inspiration. They need somebody to say, hey, you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. So I feel like we're going to have this conversation when the next book comes out, which is in December, about health and wellness. So I want to say thank you to everyone for supporting us, for buying the book, for leaving reviews, for watching these lives that we do. All of it matters. And the more people who join this movement, the more husbands who give their wives this book as a gift, the more sons give their mothers this book, or their best friends, et cetera, et cetera. You get where I'm going with this. Buy the book. It's 99 cents. It's a game changer. And after you read it, write a review. You can get it on Amazon today, right now, instantly. It's that fast. So thank you for joining us. Again, my name is Hannah Olivas from She Rises Studios. Thank you, Adriana.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Have a fabulous financial Tuesday.
Woo-hoo.
Woo! Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.